Welcome to Stormeg's Writers Cafe, where we share the real writer's life over a cup of friendship, sprinkled with laughter and wisdom. My name is LaShonda Hoffman, and I'm your host. This episode is sponsored by Virtual Tea with LaShonda Promotion Strategy Session. Today's podcast is a book brag. I've invited 3 authors to come in and brag about their books. Today's guests are Derrick D, Denise Walker, Barbara Jo Wynn. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
All right, we're going to go in alphabetical order, so Derrick, you're first.
All right. I'm usually a gentleman, but since we're in alphabetical order, I guess that's okay today. My name is Derrick Barnes. I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri, but currently I reside in Charlotte, North Carolina. Married. I have 4 amazing sons, the mighty Barnes brothers. And my current book, which is my 9th book actually, but my first picture book, is entitled Crown, an Ode to the Fresh Cut. And it's published by Denise Milner Books, a imprint of Agate Publishing. I'll read a short excerpt from the book, which is about how African American boys feel when they leave the barbershop. And you feel smarter. Obviously, you feel more handsome, and the book is just about affirmation, about shining the light on our boys and how beautiful and how strong they are. When your barber is done, you'll feel like $1 million and some change. When his fingertips hit you with that apple green alcohol or that witch hazel, it'll sting, but not like a scorpion or a hornet, more like an electric stamp of approval. And when you see that cut yourself in that handheld mirror, you'll smile a really big smile. That's the you that you love the most. That's the you that wins everything. That's the gold medal you. Every person in the shop will rise to their feet and give you a round of applause for being so fly. Not really, but they'll look like they want to. You'll see it in their eyes. It's a look your English teacher gives you when she hands you your last test with a bright red 97 slapped on it. It's how your mother looks at you before she calls you beautiful. Flowers are beautiful. Sunrises are beautiful. Being viewed in your mother's eyes as someone that matters, now that's beautiful, and you'll take it. You don't mind at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ready, Denise?
Yes. I'm Denise Walker, and I am an educator, married with a teenage son who is 14 years old. I teach middle school, and I began writing last year. I've been writing for a long time, but I started publishing last year, self-publishing under Armor of Hope Writing and Publishing, which is actually my writing business. And I just love what I do, and I'm also the founder of Hope in Christ Book Club. And my latest book, I have actually written 2, and then I wrote in 2 anthologies. My first one was Representing God, taking a healthy look at the Holy One of Israel, and it's a youth journal for middle school youth. And my second one, which just came out, is called Hannah's Hope, and it addresses the truth about child molestation and child abuse in our middle school youth because it's happening, and it shows how the children experience it and how they respond to it. And I'm going to read an excerpt from Hannah's Hope, which is maybe the first 2 pages. 12-year-old Hannah Monroe sat in her seventh period language arts class at Parkview Middle in Roswell, Georgia. She paced back and forth in her mind. Half listening to Mrs. Westbrook, Hannah had been thinking about running away for some time. She would often become anxious when the school day was about to end. She had only been attending Parkview for 6 months. Her Aunt Loretta had enrolled her when she came to live with her and her husband back in July. Hannah debated telling Mrs. Westbrook her secret, but immediately decided against it. She admired Mrs. Westbrook. She was her favorite teacher at Parkview. Hannah thought she was amazing. Mrs. Westbrook was older than Hannah's other teachers. She had told them that she was in her 20th year as an educator, but she was more compassionate and able to relate to their world, unlike Hannah's other teachers. Mrs. Westbrook had a tiny frame like Hannah's mother and was always well dressed, even when the other teachers would dress down. Mrs. Westbrook stood out from the rest. Her smile was inviting. Her natural hair was beautiful. It was jet black and often in an updo with tiny black curls that seemed to tickle her cheeks. Hannah enjoyed coming to Mrs. Westbrook's class. She felt safe around her for some reason. Mrs. Westbrook also made the subject of language arts fun. In 4th and 5th grade, her school began to prepare them for middle school. So they had 2 different classes, language arts and social studies, and math and science. During those years, Hannah would drag herself to Mrs. Jones' class and try to stay awake during the language arts block. Hannah was sure she would die from boredom and never make it to middle school. However, she survived and had finally developed a love for language arts again. Hannah thought that Mrs. Westbrook's caring spirit was amazing in itself because some of her classmates could be extra at times, especially Monique with all that attitude. Mrs. Westbrook had to speak to her every other day about her behavior, bullying other kids, and back-talking the other teachers. Monique had been in the principal's office more than Hannah could count. She had every class with her. For some reason, Monique wouldn't disrespect Mrs. Westbrook. Hannah just couldn't understand why she was so rude and disrespectful in the first place. Maybe she has a secret, too, and doesn't know how to tell anyone, Hannah thought to herself. Thank you.
Thank you. You're just going to throw that out there right there, huh? What's the secret? All right. Come on, Miss Barbara.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm Barbara Jo Williams. I'm the founder of Amani Publishing, which I started in 2004. I'm also the co-founder of the Tallahassee Authors Network, which we started in 2008. I currently have 27 books published. Some of them are in paperback, and most of them are, well, all of them are in ebook, and some of them are in paperback. I mainly write romance books. I have a few nonfiction books that I call self-help books about writing and publishing and marketing. And I also have a YA series under B.J. Williams, and that's Bell Bottom High series. I live in Tallahassee. I've been married for 35 years. I'm ex-Navy. My husband is ex-Marine. And we have a teenage daughter who's about to graduate in May. So my latest book, as I said, is number 27. It came out January the 1st. And it's actually a novelette, and the title of it is A Night to Remember. And like I said, it's a novelette, and it's romance/women's fiction. It's about a married woman who she made a New Year's resolution to lose weight, and after she lost weight, her husband decided to leave her for whatever reason. But I'm going to read a few pages from that. And it starts out on New Year's Eve. How does this look? I asked the perky sales lady. I was standing in the dressing room at Macy's, modeling a low-cut, slinky red dress. I had plans to attend a New Year's Eve party later in the evening. That number would be perfect to help me bring in the new year and my new body. It looks great on you, she replied. Red is really your color, and you're the perfect size for it. And that's the only 10 that we have left. Okay, I'll take it, I replied, smiling at my brown skin in the mirror. I handed her my Platinum Visa card and returned to the dressing room to change back into my jeans and a long gray sweater. As I approached the checkout counter, she glanced down at my card, then looked up at me. Okay, Miss Annette Green, are you ready to check out? Yes, ma'am, I sure am. After she rang me up and placed plastic over the $200 dress, she handed it back to me and said, have fun at the party. Your husband is going to love you in this. I returned her full smile with a half smile. All I could muster was a soft thank you. I looked down at the wedding band on my finger and thought about it for a second. If only she'd known what I was going through, that comment would never have crossed her lips. John, my estranged husband, moved out about 2 weeks ago. Said he couldn't stand to live with me anymore after being married for 6 years. Apparently, he wasn't pleased with my recent weight loss or my new outlook on life. And he had the nerve to say, I'm not attracted to skinny-ass women, especially ones with bad attitudes. So I told him, you can take your big, overweight ass and get out of my house because I'm not attracted to you anymore either. He looked hurt, but I didn't give a damn because he'd hurt my feelings too. I damn near starved myself to death all year long and almost went into cardiac arrest on more than one occasion while working out. And he had the nerve to call me names? Oh, no, I wasn't having it. We didn't argue about it anymore after that night. However, a couple of days later when I returned home from work, he was gone. I mean, every trace of him was moved out. He even took the dog that I didn't care about, but it belonged to us. He didn't leave a note or anything saying that he'd stop by later to check on me or how we were going to manage paying the bills around the house. It was like he never lived in the building. I knew I was going to miss my fluffy man during the cold winter season, but he wasn't worth gaining back all those pounds I'd worked so hard to lose. I was sure he'd eventually come around and appreciate my skinniness. I'd been overweight all my life. I was always the chubby girl being teased, and the last one picked in PE when we had to pick teams. Everyone was mean to me until I got smart in the 5th grade. That's when I started spending my allowance on candy and bringing it to school to share with them. I had to bribe my fake friends with candy, but at least it got me some attention. I made a New Year's resolution to lose 60 pounds, and as of today, I've lost a total of 61 pounds. Thank you very much. It's just sad to say that I also lost the love of my husband. He was the love of my life, the one whom I thought would love me forever and ever, the one who didn't care about my weight and loved me in spite of all my flaws. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, that was a good excerpt, too. You guys got some good stories going on. All right, well, we look like we got enough time to ask you some questions, so I'm just going to jump right on in with the questions. And my first question I always ask is, what advice would you offer someone whose book is about to release? Anyone can jump in, or you can go in order.
All right, I guess I can go. I guess a few months out. I always choose like 3 months out before the book comes out. I try to target local media and send them books. For instance, this book. When I got my copies, I targeted certain newspapers or websites or popular online radio shows, and I sent them copies of the book. I sent them posters. I sent them bookmarks and asked in advance if I can get an interview or if they can run a story on the book. But I always try to do that maybe 2 or 3 months, before the book comes out.
Thank you. Those are good tips. I like that. So do you send your stuff to them before they say yes, or you send them, or you wait till they say something to you to send them your information in?
Yeah, I wait till they say yes. most of my books, well, all of them have been published by larger publishing companies, so they do it for you, or at least they would like for you to, just send them a list of, the companies that you would like, to reach out to. But I'm a kind of do-it-yourself kind of person, so, sometimes I reach out to them myself, and I wait until they say yes before I send anything. But, for the most part, I leave it up to the PR people at the company.
All right. Thank you. Denise, you have anything, or Barbara?
I was just going to say, being a newer author, I just continuously share. On Instagram is where I get a lot of feedback because my genre is for youth. So there's a lot of mentors and things on there that I just kind of post flyers about it before it came out, before both of them came out, and I got some good feedback in that way.
Okay. And I would just say, promote anywhere and everywhere that you can. Do all that you can that's free, and then do all that you can afford. Have a budget and, a month or two or whatever you have before your book come out. You need to hit all the outlets that you can, tell all the people that you can, email all the people that you can, and let them know that your book is coming out.
Good advice. Let's talk about vending. Do any of you all do any type of vending?
I don't do as much vending now as I've done in the past, Shonda. When I first started out, I did a lot of vending, especially that year or two, because people were saying, oh, you need to get out and meet people and get your name out. And I did that. And then, a few years later, then social media came out and all that kind of stuff, and I was able to reconnect with all those people again. But, yeah, it is good to do vending, to get out and meet people and travel as much as your budget will allow.
Okay. I'll ask you this then, because you guys are pretty quiet. What's your biggest promotion challenge?
I guess the obvious one would be just being limited, financially. But I guess it really doesn't matter how much money you got if you don't have the right target in mind. It's so important. I always tell people to go after your target audience, wherever they are, whatever websites they're on. Whatever stores they, frequent, you need to go and hit every area that's your target audience. So if you, for instance, this book is about, haircuts. I've already set up, appearances at a lot of hair shows. They had this big hair show in Atlanta called Bonus. And so we're going to set up down there. I'm bringing like 200 books. I'm going directly to my target audience. So, we're like maybe 3 hours away from Atlanta, so I load up the car and drive down there. So, but I guess it's like I said, the biggest challenge is figuring out how to promote without having X amount of dollars.
Well, my biggest challenge is time management, just finding the time to actually do promotions, even online or get out and promote. And like he said, go to different shows and things like that. Just being, having the time to do something every day, every week, every month.
And I would say the same thing. Being a full-time teacher, still in the classroom right now, just trying to balance and getting myself out there and being consistent with it is one of the things that's probably one of my biggest challenges, because trying to balance the two can be a little overwhelming, but when, I just think about I got to get it done, and that's what I love doing. So that's one of the things that I've found.
Hmm.
That goes right into my next question about how much time do you devote to marketing your book?
Well, I don't have a set schedule, which I probably need to have, so I don't know. But I do try to do something every day, at least on social media every day.
I see you on there. You ask a question or you try to get some engagement. And I think that a lot of people think they have to do so much. And I try to teach my clients that it's not about doing a whole bunch, but it's about getting the engagement. And, Barbara, you get a lot of engagement, so I like that.
Okay. Yeah, I just got a message from someone today saying that, that she enjoyed my post every day. She said, she said, keep the audience engaged. You got down pat. You brought a breath of fresh air to my news feed. Thanks. So I was like, I just got that message at 7:47. I'm like, okay. I don't even know where she came from, but, I appreciate her.
That's good. Because sometimes we overwhelm ourselves trying to do a whole bunch when all you can do is one question a day. Then that's what you can do, But if you're getting engagement, if you're getting 50 and 60 people talking to you, a lot of people will spend 2 or 3 months and not get that much. So, you got to watch what you're doing and get the results from it, when you're doing your promotion. Because sometimes we overwhelm ourselves when we don't have to.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I try not to. I mean, there's such a thing as over promoting too. Like if you're speaking to the same audience over and over again, your message can kind of fall on deaf ears after a while. So, it's important to try to broaden your audience by any means necessary. So if I'm promoting on Instagram, for instance, putting those little hashtags on every post is so important because people are always searching. As soon as they come on there, they may be searching for a certain thing. So you got to make sure you keep your hashtags consistent and maybe put something on there that's kind of broad. So, I always put like maybe 5 to 10 hashtags. So just in case somebody is looking for barbershops, haircuts, they will immediately go to one of my posts, And that's a way of getting new followers as well.
I like that.
That's good advice. Good advice. The hashtag, people sleep on the hashtags, but they bring a lot of people to you. Mm-hmm. I say just try them for a week, and then you'll see a difference. If you don't see a difference, then go back to what you was doing. But you try those hashtags, it really brings your audience to you.
I agree because I just learned how to do the Twitter. I didn't really understand Twitter at all. Mm-hmm. I didn't understand the hashtags. But then I started just kind of trying to tag those things that are being, like, people are tweeting in that category for a lot that day. So I tried doing that, and I see that I'll get a retweet now than when I wasn't getting anything. So, yeah, just trying things is one of the things I'm just trying to do all the time, something new. And also what I've learned is getting people to understand the importance of the book, not just buy my book, but why is it important? Why will it help that particular young person? And so that's what I try to do when I post things.
That's really good advice because why do we need your book? A lot of people don't think about that. There are out there saying, buy my book. But what makes your book stand out? I always tell my clients that figure out what makes your book stand out. Tell us about it. Why should we buy this book? Why do I need your book? That's the question you have to ask on social media because you have so many other people that's saying the same thing, buy my book. So why do I need to spend that $6 for your book? And what brings it out. So that's good. They always know why should they pick up your book. Now, how do you guys get reviews? What's some tips on getting some reviews?
Well, all I can say, you ask for them.
Yeah. Before this book came out, it's important. I mean, if you can get reviews from major news sources and major newspapers, that's a bonus. But sometimes you have to go after those smaller reviews. They add up as well. So again, like before this book came out, 3 months ahead of time, I'm looking for blogs that cater to parents of black children, blogs that cater to parents of black boys, and I'm sending them. I may not have enough book to send to everybody, but I'm sending them an excerpt of the book, what the book's about and the whole nine, and they're always looking for content. So if you can find those huge blogs that have over 5,000 followers, that's almost as good as getting a review from a periodical, And those people are loyal. They will go out and buy your book. So again, always going back to go after your target audience, wherever they are, blogs, newsletters or whatever. You go out and find those people.
Yeah. I always try to get some reviews ahead of time, especially, like proofreaders. I mean, not proofreaders, beta readers. If you have some beta readers, for your book, or people that, book clubs members that you can give preview copies or advanced copies to and let them read it ahead of time. And then on the day that book is released, if you can get them to post a review, ask them, you can't trade a book for a review, but of course you can ask them to post a review. And if you got 10 or 20 people who have read your book in advance and they all come and post a review on the day that the book is published, then other people that are coming to look for that book will see those reviews. Okay, this book just came out a day or two ago, and it's got 20 reviews. This must be pretty good, so, maybe I should check it out. And the more people you see posting reviews, the more people are going to post reviews.
And the way I've gotten reviews is just by asking people that know me or people that are in the book club and Hope of Christ book club or just different places, if they would give me some feedback, they would read it and post a review. And sometimes, you'll get those people that have downloaded it. They've downloaded the book, and you can ask them for a review, but that's all I can really do.
Right, you do have to ask. I think that people are scared to do the ask. I'm going to get to know. So, and that's the only way they're going to be able to do it, because sometimes people forget they read the book, and then, if you ask them, then they might say, oh, yeah, okay, no problem. So don't be afraid.
Yeah, sometimes if I'm posting on Facebook or I ask people, have you read this book? Have you reviewed it? And they're like, oh, yeah, I read that. I forgot to post a review. Let me go and post a review. So sometimes just posting it, on your page. And sometimes I'll copy a review from Amazon and post it on my page so people can see it. And they're like, oh, that's a good review. Let me go and post a review. I didn't, for a long time people told me, oh, I thought you had to write long reviews until you started posting reviews on your page and showing people how to do it, and that we didn't have to do long reviews. So I'm going to make a point from now on, to do more reviews.
It takes time to write your first review and then to get it out there. A lot of people, when they think of reviews, they think of book reports, and a review isn't a book report.
Thank
you. It's just telling how you like the book. You're not going to tell the whole book. Don't do a spoiler. I hate people who do reviews like that. But you want to know how the book made you feel. That's why I always say, well, how did this book make you feel? Put it in a couple of words. You can put a review is, this was a good book. Bam, that's it. If that's all you got to say, that's all you have to say, But I think we think that we got to write this whole long report when you really don't. You don't. Go check out the reviews, see what other people say. Some people write long reviews. Some people write short reviews. But reviews are very important for the author, for them to, be able to sell on other sites and stuff. And so they are still important. I really didn't think they were that important, but they are very important because other sites look at them. They'll go and look at it and say, hey, you only got 2 reviews, and we don't want to help you promote your book. You need a little more. Some places you got to have 25 reviews just to buy ad space with them. So, reviews
that
are
is
very
true.
important with other authors, I think you said something, was that this week you were talking about if a person didn't have reviews, and that the book might not be that great, and so a lot of people got offended by that, I think.
Well, I didn't say that's not what I said. I posted the question that if you went to someone's book and you didn't see any reviews, what would you think about the book? Mm-hmm. I didn't say it was a bad thing or a good thing. I just asked people what would be your first thought if you went to buy a book and you didn't see it's been out for a year or 6 months and it didn't have any reviews. What would you think happened?
Mhm. And I think that was a test. Hit a couple of triggers on some people.
I know. I tend to do that a lot.
I know by working with people that a lot of people don't ask, and so they're not going to get reviews from especially if they're a new author. You got to ask. You really have to ask. If your book has been out there and you have not even 1 review, then you get. I say do a review campaign and get out there and just ask people and see what they say. Did you like my book? As a matter of fact, just finished reading the book. I said something about the book. The author sent me a message and said, I saw you love my book. Would you take a moment and do a review on Amazon? Now, that wasn't too hard. She sent me a message. She asked me. I wrote the review up. I just got to put it on Amazon. Got to make time to do it. That's my problem. I write all these lovely reviews. I just never put them on Amazon. But that's what I need to do. But I thought that was kind of cool that she sent me a message and asked me to write a review for her. So I'm going to use that when it's time for me to ask for a review. All right.
Yeah, if you see somebody posting about your book, then then I would ask them, hey, and send them an inbox message. Thanks for posting about my book. Did you post a review? That would really be appreciated. But the question I posed. Yep. The question I posed to Shonda, I think I said, if I saw someone book and didn't have any reviews, my first thought would be if they didn't have any beta readers.
Mm-hmm.
So I tied it into beta readers because I feel like, if you have beta readers and they've read your book, that's what my beta readers do. They go and post reviews.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see someone with no reviews, I'm like, well, maybe you didn't have beta readers.
Yeah. So you have to make sure that your beta reader does that because some don't. So you have to,
Yeah, some don't. It depends on the relationship.
I got advanced readers, and I did that, too. So you can get beta readers or you can get the advanced readers.
You can get advanced readers, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You got advanced readers and beta readers.
When
I have post.
I think Paulette Harper, she sends out advanced copies, and then she asks you to post on the day her book releases. That's part of your deal with reading her book in advance, and I think that's a great way to get where you get those 25 people to say, yeah, put it on your on Amazon that day, and be committed to do that. So I think that's a great way too. So that's a plug for Paulette. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we'll come right back to this. This episode is sponsored by Virtual Tea with LaShonda Promotion Strategy Sessions. Are you frustrated by your promotion? It's time for a promotion audit. A promotion audit includes helping you find your readers, suggestions for content to reach your readers, social media tips, promotion scheduling tips to stay consistent, and tools to improve your promotion so you can become the social butterfly you're meant to be. Check the show notes for the links so you can schedule your promotion audit and get back on track to being a social butterfly. Welcome back to Sormez Writers Cafe. Today we're inside the book Brad. Our guests are Derrick Barnes, Denise Walker, and Barbara Jo Williams. Thank you, people. Thank you, people. Thank you so much for being here. We've been talking about promotion. We got a little more time, so I want to talk a little bit about writing. Do you think a writer has to have a big ego?
A what?
It says, do you think a writer has to have a big ego? Does it hurt
No.
or help you? No.
Not necessarily. I guess it just depends on the person's personality. You know, most writers that I know are introverted, kind of quiet people, and you know, we spend weeks and months at a time kind of in solitude. I guess you can have an ego if you have a lot of confidence in your writing. Like I really think all writers should really continue to improve and be a better writer. You know, I've been writing for a long time, and I'm kind of cocky in regards to my writing, but I'm not arrogant in the sense of my personality and how I treat other people. But I do have a lot of confidence in my writing ability. Like I said, I always strive to get better, and I continue reading other people's work and try to take a little pieces here and there and add to my own personal style. Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with having the ego, just as long as you're not a jerk, I guess.
Yeah. I do think you have to have the right mindset to be a writer. I would love some tips for you guys being successful at this business. What would you tell someone who's been trying to get published but it's not happening for them? What advice would you offer to them?
I probably would give them the advice. This is Denise. I would probably give them the advice of trying to self-publish, like, because if you never step out there, I was done writing for a long time, but then I was nervous about trying to become a self-published author. And then I just said, it'll never happen if you don't try. So that's the advice I would give them.
That's good advice, Denise. I know for myself, the scary person, I finally had to figure that one out. That it's never going to happen unless you make it happen. So that's good advice.
Yeah, and you know how I feel, LaShonda. So I advocate self-publishing. That's how I started out. I love it. And, I tried the traditional route. It didn't work out for me. So I started researching, trying to do the self-publishing thing. And I did that. And then a few years, 2-3 years down the road, traditional publishing came along. But by then I was so happy I didn't want it.
I think that that's a good statement because you do have to be happy. A lot of people come into this business thinking one thing and it's not what they expect. And so you have to know what you want from your writing. I tell people that all the time. Know your why. Why? Is it about making millions of dollars? Because that might not happen. So, you need to know why you're writing a book. If you're writing a book because you want readership, you want to get in front of people, you want to leave a legacy, know the reason why you're writing this book so you can be prepared. So if you decide that you want to work with a publishing house, you're not disappointed when you go there and, you're not getting the advance you thought you was going to get, or when you do self-publish and you only sell 3 books, can you deal with that? Be prepared. Be prepared for it because a lot of people come out, they're watching everybody and they're thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to get out here and I'm going to sell 5,000 books with no problem. And they have no readership. They just on Facebook and they got 10 followers. Yeah, that's going to really be hard to do. Once them 10 people buy the book, that's it. You need to meet more people if you plan on selling 5,000 books. And I think a lot of people don't pay attention to that. They just think that their followers are going to buy their book. I got 4,000 followers. They're going to all buy my book. No.
No.
I wish that was happening.
Yeah, really.
I got 10,000 plus. Yes. Come on, baby. No, it doesn't work that way. So you definitely got to be ready to know what's the real deal when it comes to being.
Yeah, that's why I say research. That's why I advocate research and talking to other people in the business and finding out what's realistic.
Yeah, I don't think that a lot of the new generation of writers are doing their homework. Somebody tells them, oh, you can put a book on Amazon and go for it. They
there you
tell
go.
them, you got to build your readership. You got to find people who want to read your book.
Find your audience.
So many different steps to putting that book out there, and you trying to skip to the end when
exactly.
And there's so much stuff out here now. That's one of the things I love about the internet is that you can find stuff. If you can't afford to work with me or work with Barbara, work with somebody, you can learn how to do the stuff. I always tell my clients, if you don't have the funds, then you got to have time. If you don't want to invest time, then you got to invest funds. You don't want to do neither one, then you're going to have a hard time.
You can forget it, yeah.
You're going to have a hard time with it. You don't want to invest some funds, you don't want to invest some time, but you want to be a best-selling author. Okay. Did you want to say anything, Denise?
No, I agree. And one of the things, because I was a reader before I started writing, and I still read. I just follow those that have been in the business for a long time, and I listen to them as they're posting. And Christian authors like Kim Cash Tate, who's one of my favorite authors, her and Sherry Lewis and Jacqueline Thomas, and just watch how they continue in excellence, and just remember that it is hard work. I think about how many books they have written, and I'm like, wow, because I have half of them on my shelf, and I read all the time, read how they write, watch YouTube. YouTube is a plethora of information you can find. YouTube and then trying to take classes, even though sometimes I know people may think, they came out being a teacher, and no, it's totally different. Even though I've been teaching language arts for many years, it's still totally different. And so just continuing learning all the time is, and not being cocky, but being humble, being willing to somebody to tell me, well, you need to work on that a little bit more, or things like that. So those are some of the things that I just continue to strive to do.
I'm glad you said that about learning, because as a writer, you're constantly learning. Every book you learn how to improve on the next book, and so following, I always say, follow your favorite authors and learn from them. Sit at their feet. You might never ever meet them, but you learn from them from each book that they write. Each book they've gotten better. Somebody has come out, they got 20, like Barbara said, I think you said you had 28 books. When I met Barbara, she had one. So, I have learned so much from her. I've sat back and sat at her feet and learned, because she's doing what I want to do. You come out here and just and try to do it by yourself. People think that they have to publish a book by themselves. You don't. It's a community. If you join the community, you have to be a part of the community. You can't stay silent. And, I tell people when they come to me, and by the time they get to me, they're so frustrated and upset about their writing. If you came to me as soon as you said, LaShawn, I'm about to do a book, I need to talk to you right now, you're going to have a happier experience than coming to me 5 books in and you haven't sold but 2 books out of the 5 books. Because you think that you got to do it all by yourself. You don't. You don't have to do it by yourself. You can join groups. You don't have funds, then join groups. Remember I said being free, join some groups and get the information from the people. People are sharing. I share in my group all the time. follow your favorite authors. They're sharing their wisdom, what they did wrong, what they learned from that. You know, one of the authors posted, Farrah Rashawn, she posted that she uploaded the wrong book to Amazon. That happened. And that's something that you need to know can happen, that when you load your book up to Create Space, and you might grab the wrong edition, you know. And so,
yep.
you know, you see how she handled it. She freaked out. Everybody freaks out. But she handled it very professionally. She told you, hey, I'm putting a new book up there. Go back and update your book. You know, she didn't leave it up there looking like a hot mess. You know, some people will. They don't care. But,
wow.
You know, when you're a professional, you want to do the right thing. And so people, even professionals, have mistakes. You know, we're human. They're human. And I love that instead of her saying, oh, man, I put the wrong thing up there, you know, she was really upset about it, but she went and fixed it. And she gave lessons to all of us who have not had that happen yet. That we know, okay, be aware that you can grab the wrong book because you go through so many drafts, you know. And if you do, it's not the end of the world. You can take it down, put the new one up, apologize, and keep it moving, you know. And I learned that from her this week, you know, that we are human, and remember that. And you get too cocky and thinking hey, they will bring you back down to the earth. So, you know. Let me see, what else? All right, so we're about to get out of here. I want you all to tell me where we can find you online.
Well, you can find me in a multitude of places. On Facebook, I have a author page. You can find me at author Derrick D. Barnes. On Instagram, you can find me at the same author Derrick D. Barnes. And on Twitter, the same thing. I try to be consistent, you know, with all my social media platforms. You know, find me at author Derrick D. Barnes, and my website is derrickdbarnes.com.
Mine is Facebook, author Denise Walker, and Instagram, same thing, author Denise Walker, and then on Twitter is author_Denise. And Pinterest, I have also one, author Denise Walker, and LinkedIn. I'm on there as well, so I try to be on different platforms, and then my website is denisemwalker.com.
Okay, you can find me mainly on Facebook as Barbara Jo. I'm on Twitter as Barbara Jo22, and I'm on Instagram, Barbara Jo Williams. My website is barbarajo.webs.com, and also on Facebook, I have an Amani Publishing business page, so that's Amani Publishing. And I have my own group, Barbara Jo Reads and Writes, where I do a lot of giveaways from different authors, especially on Wednesday. I do Writer Wednesday. Every Wednesday I showcase a different author, and they do a giveaway on Wednesday. And then on Fridays I do Friday Fiction, and then all the fiction authors can post links to their books and their websites or whatever they want to do. So you can find me in all those places.
Thank you so much. I want to plug the SORMEG Digital. We are featuring Derrick and Denise in there, so go check that out, and you can read a little bit more about them too in their books that they have this year for young adults and children. I would like to thank our sponsor for this episode, Virtual Tea with LaShonda Promotion Strategy Session. Check the link in the show notes to order your promotion audit today. I want to thank our guests for being a part of SORMEG's Writers Cafe. I truly appreciate you all popping in and sharing your books with us. I want to thank our listeners for taking the time to listen to this podcast. I have 3 requests for you. I need you to subscribe to the platform that you're listening to so you don't miss an episode. Please feel free to write a review. Remember I said those reviews, they make a difference. Let me know what you think of this episode. Number 3, please share the podcast with your community. Sharing means you care about the podcast, and that means you want us to continue. So please share the podcast. If you have a topic you want us to discuss on the cafe or would like to be a sponsor of an episode, send your request to onesormag@gmail.com. This is LaShonda Hoffman, and I will see you guys on the next.